So we have news for Guild Wars 2. Yeah, crazy. The Wolves World Reconstruction came in, and there's some people getting some bugs, as we all see what I expected. But overall, it seems like it's... I've heard good things about it, okay, overall. I think people have been having fun. The issue mainly that we have right now is that some people are experiencing their teams, let's say, usually you go with one guild, and their guild is split into different alliances, which is not exactly what you don't want in the event, right? I'm pretty sure that now it got fixed, and there's only a few people that are having this issue, not that many. But if you have that issue, you can actually go to Reddit. Let me see if I can find it. And you can essentially put your name in this forum, actually. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I'll put it in the description as well. You can go to this forum, put your name, and they'll fix it, right? Because it's only a few people that have had this happen to them. So you just put your name here, and they'll hopefully fix it, right? Other thing that we got, which is kind of interesting, we got a new event tab. Look at this. 20% of the Blackland trading post items until January 15. Wolves War Rush event happening now. And it tells you exactly what's going to happen through the rest of the year. That's actually pretty nice, because most people don't really know. Most people don't really know what things are happening in the game right now. It would be nice if we got things for February. But we don't really have nothing else for anything. I guess the only thing that really matters is the current month, and I'm sure they'll start filling the rest of the stuff up. But honestly, it's a cool idea, because I tell you guys, hey, this is happening, or this other thing is happening, but most of the time most people are not gonna watch those videos, right? So yeah, so it's better if we have a little tab like this, right? But also, and one of the most interesting stuff is that we have a Return to Living World Season 1 bonus event, which is very, very interesting. I'm not really sure what this means. They made a little tweet, and which is what I made the thumbnail with. Get ready for the Return to Living World Season 1 event coming next Tuesday, January 16th to January 23rd. You'll receive a message from Captain Ellen Keel in Alliance Art to find out more. I don't know what this means. Honestly, I have no idea what this is gonna entail. Like, Living Season 1 doesn't have that much content. It really doesn't. They don't have any maps. I'm not sure what this is gonna... I'm not sure this is what this is gonna do. I'm kind of excited to see, and it's gonna last for a whole week. It says to help secure some areas and relive key encounters, and the Captain's Council will generously reward you. Maybe it's gonna be about Marinette, Battlefield and Sarge, and Tower of Nightmares. Metas. Maybe they're gonna rework them a little bit, maybe change them a little bit so they're a bit easier to do or easier to build up. Because, for example, honestly, the biggest one I would want to see changes with would be Towers of Nightmares, because holy fuck, that one just nobody plays that one because it's very long. It has almost no bosses. The bosses that they do have are very kind of boring. And can only do with 25 people, not even a full squad. So it's this weird to do. For example, in my meta train, I can't really make it. I can't really make it work. So I'm very interested to see what they do. They are showing the Crown Pavilion, so maybe we will be able to get in there and do something with that. Maybe we'll have to do the story. Maybe we'll get some more achievements to do in the story. They do see that they were gonna relieve some key encounters, so maybe they'll put some events inside of the open world where you can, actually just blast them for different rewards. It's very... Yeah, I'm not really sure. It could be a lot of things. Tell me in the comments down below if you think of... If there's anything that you think that it could be, but I guess we don't really have to speculate that much because it's literally in 2 days. But I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what it is. And honestly, also, because this will... Whatever this is will pave the future for whatever goes next. Because, yeah, sure, Living Room Season 1 is nice and everything, but we also have Living Room Season 2 and 3 and 4. This maybe would be insane, but nah, there's no way. Like, this is my whole dream, and it's full of copium, but I really would love if there was, if they started making, instance content out of all bosses. Like, imagine if we get one strike from Living Room Season 1, that from one of the bosses, right? And then Living Season 2, we get another boss from the story into a strike or a meta or whatever. That would be so cool. Now, that would be way too much, I think. I doubt that they could do that, but if they did, holy fuck, it would be so awesome. And honestly, if they did, also, they would have definitely said it. there's no shot that they would have communicated already. So it's probably not gonna be something as good as that, but who knows? Who knows what it's gonna be? Definitely tell me what do you guys think. I'm guessing it's just gonna be some, but worst case scenario is gonna be like, go do this story and you get some rewards, haha, and that's it. Kind of like what Season of the Dragons was. Best case scenario would be the copium, the actual good content that we get, the actual new content from the old bosses. But most likely it would be the first one. And best case scenario, like, oh, maybe there's one of the bosses of the story or one of the events of the story is an open world and we all have to do it together. Maybe. So we'll see what it is. As you can see as well, we have the skills and balance update on the 30th of January. We got the little, patch notes here. They're gonna make some, some of the overperforming relics a bit, less good. So you can pick something else. They're still gonna be obviously strong. Gonna have some more stuff for the unperforming ones as well. Now look at that relic of the Weaver. This relic no longer has an internal cooldown. So now every time you use a stance, well, the relic of the Weaver is gonna get 10% damage, which is actually pretty cool. I probably won't work in all of the builds, of course, but maybe in some of them it'll be better than fireworks. Who knows? Hopefully that is the case, and we end up having a bit more, differences in terms of relics into different builds. We'll see if that happens, but yeah, well, hopefully. They also are nerfing the biggest. They're essentially like all the builds that were doing a lot of damage. They're kind of nerfing them, right? For example, Condi Weaver. Essentially Hammer, right? They're essentially nerfing Hammer here. So Weaver and Catalyst, like, look, Condition Weaver and Condition Tempest was doing like a lot of damage. I'm not sure they were using Hammer though, but let me see actually. Yeah, they were using Hammer, both. So I guess they're trying to make it so not only they don't do less damage because they were kind of pumping, right? But also Hammer, hopefully, you can change and not use Hammer all the time, which I think it's honestly a good idea. Like, I don't like I guess it's what comes out with having every weapon from every elite spec available to everyone. You have one good weapon and everyone uses it, and honestly it would be nice if they kind of balance it so you have a bit of a difference between all of them and you can actually choose on each weapon depending on the situation, which is probably what they're trying to do here, right? Engineer, Bulwark Gyro, they're making it better so that way it gives you more barrier, which is nice, and essentially making Scrapper more, give more barrier, right? Give more utility. So compete with other, other damage support builds, right? And they're also making damage less, so as well at the same time because, I'm gonna say the build was doing a lot of damage as well, right? I don't know where it is. Scrapper. Power Scrapper, like 43k, right? A lot of damage. So now it's gonna go a little bit down, but the utility is gonna go up. So probably the quickness Scrapper version as well is gonna be a bit better. So pretty cool, right? They also nerfed Blowtorch had a bug that made you do a lot of damage. So the Condition Hollow-Smith is going down. To be honest, most of these builds are doing like an insane amount of damage. So I guess it makes sense to move him from 45, 44 to less, right? I don't know how much it's gonna go down to. We're gonna have to see, but yeah. Guardian, Radiant Fire, the Cells Flame. Now you're not gonna have to be on Scepter, on Torch for in order to use the new crit, the new ammunition from Swords Flame, so you can go into your fire, if you're a fireman, into your tomes, and you're gonna, even if you saw the trade parking, you'll be like, oh, I don't have to go back instantly to use it before it runs out. You can just keep it there and you'll be fine, right? Which in some ways it makes it a bit easier to use. For some people might be a bit less exciting because you're like, oh no, before it was like, oh my god, I need to press button, and then you use it and you feel good because you used it on the window that you had. But now it doesn't really matter. So in some cases better, in some ways it's worse, right? They're also making so PP for Firebrand is a bit better. They're buffing PP Firebrand, and they're also using so Merciful Intervention becomes a bit better as well. Less cooldown, more less healing, but also more radius. So maybe they want you to take it Merciful Intervention to teleport around people. Maybe, I don't know. I guess that's maybe they're trying to make it so, I don't know, Firebrand may has more mobility, which is kind of interesting. I guess they were kind of stuck in the ground, which probably in PP is not a good idea. So seems like hopefully all of these changes for PP makes Firebrand a thing, because honestly Firebrand is cool and having more possibilities and things to use on PP sounds like a fun thing for everyone, right? So hopefully it's enough. Maybe it's not. We're gonna have to see, right? Mesmer, they're deleting Condi Condi Mirage, which is a bit sad, I guess, because it's kind of our niche build and not a lot of people used. And I don't know. I mean, it is hard to use, and it definitely have a lot of like things that you have to like, you know, essentially you're stuck in the ground, or you have an animation that, you know, you have to play out. So it's hard to use. You will get punished if something goes wrong. So in some ways, should it be 46k? Probably not, right? It's too much, right, damage, but also you most likely won't be able to do 46k in a real encounter. So it's like, where should this be, you know? I guess maybe they're, I don't know how much they're gonna nerf it to. Like, if they, hopefully it's not gonna be like insanely bad, like, I don't know, like 40k. It should be one of, if it exists the way it exists right now, it should do a higher amount of damage than most of the other builds, because it's hard to execute, right? And not because it's hard to like press the buttons, but like it's hard to get a lot of damage. Anything that goes wrong can fuck you over, right? So it's high risk, high reward. Probably 46k is too much, but yeah, we'll see how it ends up going, right? Yeah, and if they want it to be, you know, less damage overall, they're probably gonna have to make it so it's a bit easier to use and less punishing, right? Because and of course that takes more time and more you know, more effort to balance, you know, and to change things. But if you wanna, you know, nerf it a lot, you're gonna have to do that, because otherwise, you know, the build is not really gonna be usable at all, right? And that kind of sucks, you know. Hey, fuck, like, you know, it's a whole spec. What else do you do in Mirage? You're not doing alacrity. Fucking let it be a DPS build, I guess. But we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. We have to the 30th, maybe, if, you know, because a lot of people are complaining, maybe they'll change it so it isn't as big as a nerf. So people still play it, or, well, who knows, right? They also made it so the mantras change. So the mantras now heal every time you use them instead of every time you charge them. So it's a bit of easier to use, which is probably nice, because people don't really like, I don't think, they don't really like charging mantras, apparently. So I guess for most people it's gonna be nice. I don't think, I actually kind of like it, but not everyone does it. And they're making the chrono build on Oversold a bit less, you know, less good, because apparently it was pretty good. But I'm pretty sure it's only one type of the build, so maybe the other chrono build is still gonna be probably good. But we'll see how it ends up working, especially because we have the, well, I guess it's gonna be after the Oversold reconstructed beta, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit to see how this ends up going. They're also making so transfusion is 6 seconds in Oversold, so it's gonna be way, you know, way worse. All right, you're not gonna be able to spam it. Which is honestly, it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of like a good thing. I know a lot of people are complaining, but like, look, transfusion is way too fucking good overall, and in Oversold it's also very good. And it's almost like I would much rather, personally, if you can press it once every 60 seconds, and when you press it, you feel like a fucking god, and everyone around you fucking recovers, and you're like, damn, instead of what it is now, which is like you keep pressing it, and everyone that downside just comes to you, and you heal a little bit, but not too much. It's, I don't know. I think it's way better. Maybe 60 seconds is too much, but I think it's way better if whenever you do press it, you feel insanely good, insanely powerful. But yeah, Rangers getting their greatsword, more damage because nobody is using it, which is kind of nice. Hopefully it's not too much, so you only use greatsword. But I do like greatsword, so and it was a bit out of favor now, so it'd be nice if you can essentially now change in between power weapons depending on the one you like, or depending on the utility it has, and it's not too much but just enough, so that's, you know, it's balanced with the other ones. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. I think they also made it so quickness untamed build have more, yeah, harbor might, which is nice, so it's a bit more useful. And I'm pretty sure they also made it so the damage on PvE, on power untamed, on condition, no wait, yeah, on power untamed is a bit less, which I guess is what, you know, they're maybe overperforming, although considering that everything is around 43k, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Oh, and they also make it so condition, I think, Druid goes down a little bit, so not too much. Oh yeah, in condition quickness untamed, they're also making it so, I didn't even know this was a build as well, but you know, there you go, it's going down a little bit. It's not even here, but look, they know, I guess, and they're making that a bit less good, right? Which, well, I don't know. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't know about the build. I also have no fucking idea. So they're just making the big numbers go down, I guess. Which in some ways, I guess, is, you know, it kind of tells you that they are kind of looking at the... I mean, I think it's okay to, like, you know, hey, too many builds doing too much damage. They probably should be brought down. But you have to be careful. Not deleting builds are kind of interesting. People like, right? And they still make, you know, still make them worth to play, right? You don't want to take away ways to play the game, because that's kind of content, right? Revenant, also Vindicator's kind of getting a bit nerfed, because he was doing a lot of damage, which makes sense. And they're making it so it's a bit better in condition builds, which I don't think that many people play Condi Rev, so hey, boom, that's kind of probably good, right? So yeah, there you go. Thief in PvE is getting nerfed as well. In Deadeye, right? Which honestly I'm not really sure that much about, because I don't really play that much PvP, especially Deadeye. So I think there are some people complaining more or less because of the fact that I mean, like, you know, getting more initiative on abilities makes them just not worth using in the first place. So yeah, sure, it's a nerf or whatever, and maybe it should be nerfed, but like it just becomes very boring and nobody plays it, which makes sense. And it's kind of hard to to deal with nerfs on Thief, I think, and to balance that around because of all the mobility it has. So who knows? So we'll see about that, right? We'll see how this ends up playing, and if people keep playing Deadeye or everybody hates it, right? And for Warrior, we essentially have like, hey, you know, Quickness was doing too much damage compared to Power. I mean, they were doing kind of very similarly, right? So now they're making the trade-off into different things bigger. So now if you tweak Quickness, you do less damage than Nova version, which makes sense, right? It's probably not gonna be that much difference. Yeah, it's probably not gonna be that much different. But you kind of want the difference, right? Because otherwise, why would you just go to the Quickness build all the time, right? I do think maybe this is one personal thing. The thing is, Warrior Quickness is kind of hard to do because you have to keep up your Berserker all the time, right? And if you fail, you drop the Quickness, right? If you don't use reverse, you're dropping the Quickness and you're kind of fucked, right? So it is very aggressive type of build. So you always want to make it so where it does do a lot of damage compared to the other versions. It doesn't even bring that many boons anyways. So this way, but I think it's probably gonna be fun, right? You don't want the difference to be too big. In some ways I'm almost like, oh, but no, I was gonna think like, oh, maybe you should give it so you make it so the damage, you know, you would do way less damage on Warrior. But you get more divine, more boon duration, so it's harder for you to drop the Quickness. But at the same time, like, man, that would make it so that's the point of Berserkers, that you're doing an insane amount of damage with high risk and high reward, right? Kind of, yeah. So like, it's probably a good thing that is not the way. You know, it's different than the other types of Quickness providers. In the other ones, it's way easier to do it, but you do less damage. And this one is like, it's way harder to do it, but you do a lot of damage. So it's probably better this way. Yeah, it's probably a good change. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there you go. That's mostly what it is, right? That's mostly what it is. I don't think this, yeah, I mean, it's honestly small patch, not too much, but I'm sure I'll make it a bit. It's just cutting off the outliers, right? It's mostly what it is. I'm more excited about the relic changes and how this will change the meta, and if it will make it so we have more things to use in different game modes. Hopefully it does, and hopefully they keep doing this kind of stuff as well on the game, so we do have more things to play with. It's just, if I have to give it a, what would I do this? Like, what would I rate this patch? Probably like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Maybe the condition Mesmer, Mirage, maybe this one's worth too much, but I don't know. Yeah, well, there you go. You can tell me what you guys think about it, and maybe I'm wrong about everything, and you guys can disagree with me, and I'll comment you and debate you in the comments down below. All right, there you go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye bye.